Nintendo just had their Nintendo Direct for September 23rd, 2021. In this episode of Delve Live, we will be discussing some of what I feel, to me, are some of the cool highlights, if you will, because quite frankly, there was so much to it. We'll discuss a few of the titles that stood out to me and some other games that I think might be fun to play. So get ready as we now time to delve. Welcome to an episode of Delve Live. I'm Tom Morris. And for those that are new, make sure that if you're not sure what Delve Live is a show that celebrates everything pop culture, whether it is video games, comic books, movies, television, animation. Always talk about what's so great about pop culture, and we celebrate it in this show. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe on our social media channels, which is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Did anything happen these past couple of weeks in September? Why, yes. We've actually had quite a bit of news and announcements going on for this past month. Just this month alone, Sony had their PlayStation event, which showcased titles for the PlayStation 4, mainly for the PlayStation 5, coming out in 2022. Apple just had their California streaming event, which showed the new iPhone 13, iPad mini, iOS, iPad 15, and a whole bunch of other exciting developments for the Apple ecosystem. And today, earlier this evening, Nintendo just had a Nintendo Direct, which was 40 minutes of video game announcements of titles coming out soon, very soon, and far off into 2022. That's what's one of the cool things about pop culture. One of the things I was thinking as I was watching the Nintendo Direct is we used to get our pop culture news in monthly magazines, whether it be EGM, Wizard, Starlog, whatever you had a hobby for, there was always a magazine that came out, and it was fun back in the day. You'd always look forward to getting that new issue of EGM, or the new Die Hard Game Fan came, or your favorite pop culture hobby had a magazine for it. With the invention of the internet, we get news instantaneous. And what's cool about that is now we can have communities which we can talk about pop culture in a variety of ways. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct this evening that focused on titles that were coming out for the remainder of 2021 and new game announcements and trailers for 2022. You had a little bit of everything in this Nintendo Direct. And there is so much information that we'll be talking about it in various episodes coming soon. What I wanted to do in this particular episode, when I'm talking Nintendo Direct, I wanted to talk about games that are coming out fairly soon. So I picked out 3 games from this Nintendo Direct that I wanted to talk about. The first game that I want to discuss is Castlevania Advance Collection. Count Dracula is once more back from the dead. Join the fight against evil in the Castlevania Advance Collection, a compilation of timeless action exploration masterpieces. In addition to the 3 legendary Castlevania games that were released on the Game Boy Advance, this collection also includes Castlevania Dracula X and some never-before-seen sketches and artwork from the games. All 4 games are enhanced with newly added modern features such as Rewind, Save/Load, and Replay, making this the best way possible to experience these classics or discover them for the first time. This collection also boasts a handy encyclopedia, a music player with all soundtracks, and you can even change the ROM region to play all games in different versions. What are the featured games in Castlevania Advance Collection? Castlevania Circle of the Moon was a Game Boy Advance title. This was the first Castlevania title released on the Game Boy Advance. The story follows Nathan Graves, a vampire hunter apprentice who enters Dracula's castle along with his master in order to prevent the dreaded return of the Count. Combine action and attribute cards to create over 80 unique spell effects, ranging from fire whips to ice blizzards, with the dual setup system. Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. This was the second Castlevania title released on Game Boy Advance. Play as Justin Belmont, the grandson of legendary vampire hunter Simon Belmont. This title introduced a lot of new features to the franchise, such as Boss Rush Mode and the Spell Fusion system that lets players combine sub-weapons with spell books to cast devastating spells. Castlevania, Area of Sorrow, the third and final Castlevania game on Game Boy Advance. Soma Cruz, a young high school exchange student in Japan, is somehow involved in the internal cycle of reincarnation of the Dark Lord himself. What role does Soma play in all of this? Will he be able to return to his own world? Area of Sorrow will also introduce a brand new attack system called Tactical Souls that lets Soma Cruz capture the souls of slain monsters to acquire their abilities, 100 plus abilities in total. Area of Sorrow also has a ton of New Game Plus content. For those of you that aren't familiar with New Game Plus, that's where you would beat the game and it would give you everything that you had from the first playthrough and you could play it over again, kind of like a level up, which is always kind of fun. You go for your max power and you fight the enemies and you discover new and exciting things. Castlevania Dracula X. For the Super Nintendo system, Castlevania Dracula X is a reimagination of the cult action game Castlevania Rondo of Blood, released on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Dracula X has been acclaimed as one of the most challenging Castlevania titles ever created. The Dark Lord Count Dracula rises again from the dead to revive the forces of darkness and to annihilate this corrupted world and create a new one. You are Richter Belmont, heir of the Belmont family, and you set out for Dracula's castle to defeat its evil master. Fight your way through Dracula's castle and defeat the toughest enemies with the new special attack, Item Crash. Brand new features for an improved experience. In this collection, you're going to have Gallery. Browse through scans of the original package designs and discover incredible artwork never shown to the public before. ROM region selection. You can choose between the Japanese, American, the European versions for each game. Encyclopedia. Learn more about all three Game Boy Advance games thanks to their dedicated encyclopedia. Detailed information on enemies, the DSS system, the Tactical Soul system, and the Spell Fusion system will help you truly master each game's unique combat system. Music player. Listen to any of 4 complete soundtracks anytime you want. You can even create your own playlist. New quality of life features. Save load. You can now quickly save and reload at any point in the game, even right before that deadly attack from Dracula himself. Rewind. You can now rewind the state of the game for a few seconds for a second chance. It is almost like being resurrected. When can you go out and purchase Castlevania Advance Collection? Now. You can go out and you can get it on the Nintendo Switch eShop, the PlayStation Store, and also Steam. I love these stealth drops. I love when we're able to take a game, show an announcement, you kind of hear a little bit of rumors, and then they're like, oh, by the way, it's out, you can get it now. Square Enix announced today during the Nintendo Direct that Actraiser Renaissance is coming out. What is Actraiser Renaissance? Summon the Lord of Light and defeat evil with Actraiser Renaissance, remastered for modern platforms. Square Enix today announced that Actraiser Renaissance, the remastered edition of the classic 2D action platformer and city building simulation game, is now available to play on modern platforms, including the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, PC via Steam, and mobile devices. Actraiser Renaissance delivers beautifully remastered HD graphics and various quality of life updates for both fans of the original and a new generation of gamers alike. Actraiser Renaissance combines 2D action and platforming with city building simulation. Help humanity prosper by playing as the Lord of Light and their loyal angel in a world beset by evil. Utilize your miraculous powers to summon lightning and trigger earthquakes to remove obstacles that impede the growth of your civilization. Explore the vast new realm, build and protect your settlements with the angel's mighty bow and arrow to ward off the evil monsters that prey on your people. New updates and features include beautifully remastered HD graphics including the characters, map, monsters, and battle backgrounds and effects. Newly designed city building simulation segments, including a new region and developmental stages for cities. Players can harness new magic, including the ability to cast fire, ice, and other magical elements in 2D action stages. Players can dodge, attack, and slash with upward and downward motions for more dynamic action experience. New real-time strategy settlement siege features. Remastered original soundtrack with 15 new music tracks. Ability to toggle between the original soundtrack and newly remastered soundtrack from the original composer, Yuzo Koshiro. New autosave and difficulty settings features. Actraiser Renaissance is available now digitally for the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, PC, Steam, and iOS and Android. Now this was originally from Enix. Actraiser Renaissance, announced during the Nintendo Direct and available now. I said it earlier. I love these stealth drops when we get game announcements and say, "Oh, by the way, here you go. You can go to the eShop, you can go to the store, you can go to the digital store, download these games, start playing them, have fun." Actraiser was one of the first Super Nintendo games that came out, and it was a very cool game. Just like the music, the gameplay, it had a little bit of different strategy to it. Now they remaster it. We didn't even know it was coming. So I'm going to check that one out and see how it plays, and especially the soundtracks and music. I'll give you all an update